Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everybody, and welcome to the world of Crosswind, the brand new piracy survival game currently in its alpha playtest from Crosswind crew. If you're lucky enough to get early access to the alpha or beta, or even if you have to wait until the full release, this video is designed to give you a head start and show you exactly what to expect when you dive in without spoiling the story or any of the real lore. So, when you first spawn into Crosswind, you'll find yourself washed up on the beach with nothing to your name except the clothes on your back and your saber. Your first objective will be to make camp, which is fairly easy. All you need to do is gather 5 wood for a bonfire by picking up scraps of driftwood and sticks on the ground that can be found everywhere outside. It's easily spotted on the beach, but it's also tucked into the foliage of the island. In order to build the bonfire, you'll have to access the building menu by pressing the B key. Wonderfully simple. The bonfire creates your building zone designated by a giant circle on the ground. Next, you'll need to start gathering more wood, some fiber, and stone because you have 3 major objectives to satisfy. Fiber comes from breaking apart the low-lying plants on the ground like bushes, ferns, and vines, while stone is found everywhere on the ground like driftwood. So for your first objective, you need to build a campfire. This is going to allow you to cook your food like crab, dodo, and boar or pig meat. 2 is you need to get a workbench. This is going to allow you to build your first level of stone tools, the hatchet and the pickaxe. The most important thing that you'll need as you continue your journey is fiber. Fiber makes rough cloth, which can be turned into bandages. These heal you for 900 health over 30 seconds, and you'll also need a fair amount of rope. So craft a good bit and always take 1 or 2 with you whenever you go out to new islands because you'll occasionally find something that needs it. No spoilers. And lastly, you'll need to build a shelter. This will provide you with a bed that will act as your spawn point once you set it. Keep in mind, in the future, you can only have 1 spawn point active at a time, but you can have many beds, and all beds need to have a roof to be set as spawn points. You will die, it is inevitable, but we'll go over the death system and the fast travel stuff later on. Let's take a quick look at the workbench and the campfire so you can get a clear view of how they function. When you access the workbench, you'll have a list of items that you can already make, but as you discover more resources like copper, iron, and other materials, you'll slowly grow this list. When you go to your cooking station, you'll be given a small list of food that you can make. The first things available are simple dishes that last 15 minutes and provide you with no real benefits outside of an added bar to your health, which you can see in the top left of the screen. As you make better food with more complex ingredient combinations like cayenne peppers, lobster mushrooms, or dodo eggs, you'll be able to craft food that's of a higher level, which you can see on the right side of the selection menu. Level 2 food lasts for 30 minutes and can provide you with benefits like increased agility. Now that we've got the bare minimums covered, you'll probably be wanting to establish a more permanent base, right? This brings us to the building menu. At this point, you should already have your basic shelter for protection from the elements and potential threats. But if that shelter isn't scratching an itch to build something more you, then you can take advantage of the custom building menu, allowing you to design your own structures exactly how you want them. One thing to keep in mind as you're building your island dream home is that the current alpha may have some quirks with building placement, which may sometimes flip objects forward or backward on accident. But like I said before, this is an alpha playtest, so expect some wonky things to happen. But after each session, you are given an opportunity to provide feedback to the devs. And let's be honest, the whole point of us being a part of a playtest is to provide feedback for them, right? One thing that you'll be constantly reminded of by the world of Crosswind is that it's not empty. You'll encounter adversaries everywhere, and occasionally you'll find an ally. The combat in this game isn't complex at this point, but you do have 2 swords to pick from, a saber and a rapier. The saber packs a punch and deals high damage, while the rapier does light damage but causes bleed that stacks up to 5 times. Both are great for their own reasons. For me, I use the rapier to hunt boar or whenever I'm fighting multiple drowners at once, while I use the saber for fighting dodos, pigs, and solo drowners. One pro tip to remember is that animals are food, not friends. When it comes to pigs, they're a challenge, but boars will send you packing. Literally. But they're your source of animal hides, so hunt them when you can. Coastal dodos are generally passive, but if you attack one, the other nearby dodos will come right after you. And if you go near the azure dodos, they'll scrap on sight because they're gangsters.
Why are you running?
Lastly, in this part of the game at least, you need to be wary of drowners in caves and near the ocean. They're the undead pirates and they pack a punch. And they have combo attacks that can stun you and send you straight back to your spawn point if you're not careful with blocking and dodging. As you go further out, there are other NPC pirates that will try to kill you. That's a person. That's not even a drowner, that's a dude. If that's one I can talk to, whatever. I'm putting a fast travel down. I'm gonna get a spawn point set, and then we are gonna go see what he does. Maybe it's oh, is it someone I can like bring into my crew kind of thing? Nope, not friendly. No, they're not friendly. Don't shoot me. As far as friendlies go, you have Dr. Gallon at this point. You might encounter other friendlies out there, but who knows? An important note about Dr. Gallon is that he does not heal you. At least not yet. He's a quest giver, so talk to him to see what task he has for you. As you get more established, you'll naturally progress to more advanced activities. On your first island, you'll have copper mines. They're always in the caves of these giant rocky mountains on your island. If you're lucky, you'll have 2. The stone pickaxe can mine copper and stone, but the copper pickaxe can't mine iron. Oh, is this iron? Okay, hold on. How am I supposed to have an iron pickaxe to mine poor iron? So I don't know what comes in between. I assume I'll be finding tin and making bronze before iron, with my RuneScape knowledge carrying me in that thought. And I may have sailed for a couple hours on my little rowboat and landed on an island that I'm not built for in my world to figure out that copper does not mine iron. Now remember to be careful whenever you're in the mines, as they'll typically be housing drowners, sometimes 1 and sometimes 6. Also, bring wood so that you can put standing torches in the mine, because I didn't realize that I could do that for my first mine and just blindly dug for an hour like a mole. Only whenever I got to my second island did I realize that I could put down torches and light everything up. I know, I figured it out faster than expected, but I'm still a human just like the rest of you. Now let's take a look at a little bit more advanced crafting before we decide that we're ready to leave our island. First is your upgrade table. This is going to allow you to improve your existing tools and gear, including upgrading the amount of storage that you have in your backpack. You'll get an easy upgrade whenever you first start, but the bigger you want the bag, the more expensive the materials will become. In order to forge an ingot from all that copper that you mined, you'll need 1 coal and 5 ores of the metal that you're working with in order to get a single ingot. If you're unfamiliar with the word ingot, it's just the name for a bar of metal. In order to get coal to do the forging, you'll need to build a kiln with clay, which is found in random places on your island. It's easily spotted along the coast, looking like lumpy dirt piles that were just squished down to the ground. You add wood to the kiln, and then over time it will produce coal. For brewing potions or other concoctions with various bonus effects, you'll need to build your alchemy table. Ingredients that you find out in the world for alchemy will specifically say that they are alchemical ingredients, so you don't need to worry about trying to figure out what's what. You can just go ahead and sort based off the descriptions. After you've added the upgraded workstations to your base, you'll want to get out of those rags that you washed up in, and where you do that is at the armor and clothing table. After you make your new set of clothing here, you can upgrade it at the upgrade table with a homemade armor reinforcement kit. Now if you want new weapons, you need to go to the weapons bench. Here you'll be able to craft better weapons, bullets, upgrade kits for your gear, and metal tools. Just like with your armor, if you want to upgrade your weapons, you'll need to do it at the upgrade table with a homemade weapon enhancement kit. And now that you've upgraded your gear, you'll want to get something back from what you've made previously, right? So in order to reclaim some of those resources, you'll need to build the disassembly machine. When you access it, you'll have a list of items that can be disassembled on the right side of your screen. But you need to be very careful of what you pick to disassemble, because you can break down the things that you're currently equipped with. Luckily, you can only do 1 item at a time, so if you break down your entire equipped set of gear, that's going to be on you for not paying attention, not the game. And now that you've done pretty much everything that you can do on your first island, you'll need to begin expanding outwards to the sea. Here you'll come across similar islands to what your starting biome is, as well as new and even more dangerous biomes with new enemies and valuable resources. And you'll have to discover these all while making sure to avoid Blackbeard's crew on the open water. What the hell are you doing over here? Get away from my house! Let's take a look at these last few pieces that you'll need to be aware of before I send you out into the world on your own. First, your rarities, also known as your quest items and unique treasures, are kept in a separate area of your inventory, and they are not at risk of being lost on death. Whenever you die, you respawn at your last selected bed. Remember how earlier I said that you can have multiple beds but only one can be active at a time? That's what I'm talking about. So you can't pick which respawn point that you want to spawn at once you're dead. You only get to respawn at the one that's been designated. So whenever you get to a new island, you always want to set up a bonfire and a shelter with a spawn point in order to make sure that you don't respawn back home and have to sail there again. Whenever you do die, you do lose most of your inventory, though your 1 to 8 bar is safe, so you can keep anything that you really value in those slots, and your food is also safe. You'll keep that whenever you respawn, though the food bonuses that you had before are gone now, so you'll have to eat again. In order to reclaim your lost equipment, you'll have to go back to your death location and interact with a barrel that's hanging with a lantern. It's marked on your map so you won't lose it. And now the most important thing. Fast travel. If you've mined plenty of copper before leaving your island, you'll want to craft your fast travel bell. It takes 10 ingots and 3 rope. It allows you to travel from bell to bell, or from bell to your ship. Not the little rowboat that you have, but your ship, once you find and repair one. I highly recommend that you make at least 2 fast travel bells before leaving. One you'll place on your first island, and the second one you'll just place at the next island that you get to. Do keep in mind that they cannot be built on land, as they have to be on the water because you arrive at the bell with your boat. This also means that you may want to build your base closer to the coast rather than being far inland if you want to have a shorter walk, because you cannot fast travel directly to your base. Let me say that again. You cannot fast travel directly to your base. Balance out your priorities before picking. Now there's no telling, in the future they may come out with another fast travel bell that can be built in your home, but that's not in the game just yet. And with that, You're now aware of everything that you'll need to do whenever you enter the world of Crosswind to get up and running without aimlessly wandering around. It took a little bit longer than anticipated to get all of this broken down, but here we are. Do remember that we're currently in alpha, so expect some rough edges, but the core mechanics are there to provide a solid survival experience, and honestly, if it was available for early access at this point, I would be buying it without question. So get out there, build your base, and build your power as you conquer the seas and seek out revenge. And if you found this guide helpful, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more Crosswind content. And for those of you already playing, what are your essential tips for new players? Let me know what I left out, and if you have any mid to late game tips, go ahead and drop those in the comments below as well. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you all in the open ocean.